Section 7.4 is the percent equation. I can use equations to solve percent problems. We can represent A is P% of B using the equation A equals P% times B. Remember that in math, is means equals and of means times. So, A is the part, B is the base, and P% is our percent. Okay, we want to know what number is, so what number translates to a variable. Is means equals 32%, of means times 375,000. Okay, so in section 7.2, we set up proportions to solve percent problems. Here we're going to use the percent equation. And in order to do that, guys, we're just going to transfer it over just like it's written. What number? That's our variable. Is means equals 32%, 32%, of means times, and our number there. This is our part. This is our base. Now, I'm going to rewrite this as a decimal. So to get rid of my percent, I'm going to move 2 spots to write it as a decimal. So I have 0.32 times 375,000. And now I can just multiply. And I get 120,000. 120,000 is 32% of 375. Feel free to pause here and give this a try if you'd like. Use the percent equation to answer the question. So here I want you to practice with the percent equation. What number is means equals 16% of means times 75. Get rid of our percent and write it as a decimal. When we multiply here, we get 12. So 12 is 16% of 75. What number, our part, and we don't know it, so it's our x, is means equals 89% of means times 110. Again here, I get rid of my percent sign by making it a decimal. 0.89 times 110. When I multiply here, I get 97.9. A car salesman earns 6.5% commission on every car sold. The salesperson sells a car for $21,800. What is the commission? So here we have to take a little bit more time to think about what the things are. Our percent is pretty straightforward. So we have A equals P% times B, part base. Our percent is pretty straightforward. We can plug that in right away. Now we need to figure out what this is. That's how much the car costs. Now, we're comparing and looking for commission. So commission is the amount of money you make based off of a sale. And here it's 6.5% commission. So for every car sold, the salesperson gets a commission that's 6.5%. So based off that information, this price right here is the total cost for the car. That's our base amount, our total cost for the car. And our commission is our part. When we multiply here, remember, switch it to a decimal. 0.065 times 21,800. We get a commission of $1,417. Stop and think, does my answer make sense? If we wouldn't have switched that to decimal, we would have gotten 141,700. Would that answer have made sense? Could the person who sold the car have made that much more money than what the car dealership even got? No. So double check, does my answer make sense? Now here, feel free to pause and give this one a try if you'd like. We're going to use the same information, so the same 6.5% commission. But we're going to figure it out based on a car that's $23,000. So again, part equals percent times base. And our percent is pretty straightforward here, 6.5. We need to figure out, is this 23,000 our part or our base? And here it says a car is sold for $23,000. So that entire $23,000 has to go to the dealership who bought the car, has to go to all the people they have to pay, has to go for the commission and the profit for the dealership. So that's going to be our total, $23,000. That's our base cost. That's our total price. And we're looking for the commission, which is just a part. Okay, we can multiply here. And when we do, we get $1,495. So that's how much the salesperson made off just selling this one car. In example 3, we want to know what percent of 25 is 60. So what percent means we are looking for that percent. Of means times 25. Is means equals 60. Of means times. Is means equals. So to solve here, our first step is to get rid of the 25 by dividing. It's being multiplied, we get rid of that by dividing. P percent then is going to equal 2.4. Now, to get rid of our percent, we're going to have to move it 2 places. And then we label it as percent. So to get P completely by itself, we have to get rid of that percent sign. We do that by moving 2 places. We can also think about this as P over 100. So we'd have to multiply by 100 here on both sides, which would get us to 240. And since we're looking for percent, we're going to label that as percent. So either the way there, as long as we can get from that decimal to the percent, we are good. Your friend paid $9 for a movie ticket. The amount was 72% of the total amount your friend spent at the theater. How much did your friend spend? So we're looking for part equals pre-percent times our base. The percent again is fairly easy to figure out, and we can plug that in. Now, this $9, we need to figure out that if that's our total amount, if that's our base, or if that's the part. They paid for a movie ticket, and the amount was 72% of the amount spent. We want to know how much did the friend spend. So we're looking for this amount right here. That's our variable. We are looking for the total. We know 9, but that is just for the movie ticket. That's just a part. Probably bought a pop or some popcorn or something else to go with it. So to solve here, first thing we're going to do is switch to a decimal, 0.72 times x. Again, 2 places. To get rid of multiplication, we divide. So we're going to divide by 0.72. Here, we're going to get $12.50. So a total cost of $12.50. Feel free to pause here and give this a try if you'd like. We're going to use the percent equation to answer the equation here. What percent of 48 is 45? So what percent means P percent of means times 48 is means equals 45. To get rid of multiplication, we're going to go ahead and divide. P percent equals 0.9375. Now again, to get rid of our percent sign, so that our P is by itself, two places. And since we're looking for percent, we label it as percent, and we get 93.75%. 21 is 7.5% of what number? Sorry, 27 is. So we have 27 is means equals 7.5% of means times what number? That's our variable. We're going to switch it to a decimal here to get rid of our percent. Now, to get x by itself, it's being multiplied, so we go ahead and divide. And x is going to be 360. There's a summary on page 347 that kind of summarizes what we've done so far this chapter. So to find the percent of a number, we can write the percent as a fraction and multiply like we did in section 7.1, or we can write it as a decimal and multiply like we did in section 7.3. To find the percent, the base, or a part of the base, we can use a proportion like we did in section 7.2, or we can use the percent equation like we did here in 7.4. So each one of these is its own section. 7.1, 7.3, 7.2, and 7.4. But they'll all get us to where we need to go. And that's all I have for section 7.4. Thanks.